Welcome to In Pursuit of Truth. This is your host, Sir Patrick Mack. We are back and we got some new Q posts. And according to Q, there are some big happenings coming up. It's going to be historic. Everybody loves a parade, except for probably the people that pick up the poop afterward. We got some new Q posts. Let's go ahead and parade on over there to 28:99, 1 minute after the hour 3. We get a few pictures, and we've seen some of these pictures before. There's Di-Fi and Lisa Murkowski. And they seem to be in some sort of, I don't know if it's like an underground station near, it looks to be near the Capitol, I would imagine. I don't know D.C. that well. But you can see the signs up here. They're talking about this car next. So I'm not sure if it's a carpool, and this is where they find their drivers, or if it's referring to trolley cars or whatnot. You guys who are familiar with DC can let me know. But you can see there's Dianne Feinstein and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, and they're having some sort of chat. And then you see here in the second picture, it's getting intense. Di-Fi's like, look, I'm going to hit this wall, and that's how hard I could hit you. And then she just hits the wall. It's not really that hard. Then you see it's really getting intense. And Di-Fi's like, look, I told you before, I'll blow up Alaska if you don't vote the way we do. And she's like, that's dumb, okay? No one's going to blow up Alaska. You can't even do that. She's like, I can do that. My driver, he knows Taekwondo. Okay, that's Korean, Diane, all right? That's not, your driver's Chinese. It doesn't even make sense. I know. He'll sweep the leg. He's Cobra Kai. Okay, that's Karate Kid, Diane. That's dumb. Just move, okay? I want my coffee, and I can't find Cory Booker. Q leaves us this Hill link right here. Murkowski to vote for resolution blocking Trump's emergency declaration. Senator Lisa Murkowski, a quote-unquote Republican from Alaska, said Tuesday that she will support a resolution blocking President Trump's emergency declaration to construct the U.S.-Mexico border wall. Asked if she was supporting the resolution, Murkowski said that she is. The House is expected to pass a resolution of disapproval to block the national emergency declaration later Tuesday, kicking the vote to the Senate. Democrats will need 4 Republicans to vote with them to pass the resolution through the Senate, where they need only a simple majority. So far, 3 GOP senators are viewed as yes votes: Murkowski and Senators Tom Tillis and Susan Collins. Collins told reporters in Maine last week that she would support a clean resolution to block Trump's emergency declaration. Tillis wrote in a Washington Post op-ed released on Monday night that he would also vote for the resolution. Murkowski was already viewed as a likely yes vote after she told an Alaska TV station that she would probably support it. When I say probably, I want to make sure that what in fact we are voting on when it comes to the Senate is what I believe it is. If it is what I have seen right now, I will support the resolution to disapprove, Murkowski told KTUU late last week. Okay, so Murkowski's not really feeling the border wall. Is this just a matter of principle for her? Is she supporting this resolution because she feels really strongly about it, or is she being encouraged to vote a certain way? Well, we've seen these pictures before, and in order to check them out the first time, we're going to have to flash back a size.
Gotta flash back a size, yeah, take it back, yeah.
Big thanks to DMHS on Twitter at _DMHS for creating that transition. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks for getting us flashed back a size safely to September 27th. We were talking about Feinstein, and this was in regards to, at least at the time, we were talking about Justice Kavanaugh. They were, debating all this, whether or not he was going to be confirmed or not. And this was one of the votes. And one of the swing votes here was this Murkowski, and this is where we saw this picture in this post 2282. Feinstein threat to Murkowski, evil, be gone. And that was actually post 2281 attached onto this picture. Now in 2277, we also saw a little connection to China. We were in China here. And we were talking about Feinstein, and we know she's got some connections out there, right? As a matter of fact, her driver has been Chinese for quite some time. So it looks to me like Feinstein's playing a bully to Murkowski, trying to get her to vote the way she wants her to vote. Well, that doesn't seem very democratic, does it, Feinstein? We saw this picture again on October 5th, post 2345, where Q had said, picture repost. A picture is worth 1,000 words. See evil in the face of Feinstein? Yeah, she doesn't look chipper. See fear and emotion in the face of Murkowski? Yeah, looks like it. A phone was present. Yeah, obviously, and we saw two sides of this picture. It almost looks like maybe that perspective from this person too could have taken a picture. So we know that a phone was present because we see the pictures. Now, does that also mean that we may have audio? What were they discussing? So this is a good time to interject. Many of you follow the Serial Brain threads on whether you follow them on Reddit or you follow videos that explain them or whatnot. We're talking about 5G technology, right? Going into these Chinese phones, and a lot of these Chinese phones trying to get into the US. And we can kind of see that context if we just back up a little bit. We see just the day before Q had reposted these pictures here. And you can see they're kind of small here, but these were all what looked to have been seized Chinese phones coming out of the Foxconn factory. Right? So what were these phones doing? Did they have some faulty 5G technology? Is this a bigger reason for our need for the border wall? Is this possibly repelling technology? Is that the reason why President Trump wants steel slats? Could be. And then, of course, we see these pictures of these subs and this possible missile firing from June that was kind of blamed on the Chinese, right? So it's all starting to kind of come together, and that would give us a little perspective as to why Feinstein wants to bully Murkowski. Now, before we move on, I want to rememberize you of a very important picture, and big thanks to Beach Lover at Cole Susie on Twitter who remembered this very important picture. This might answer your question. Murkowski with blonde hair, third from left, next to left of Maggie/Wendy, whose grandmother is Agnes Dixon, writer of soap opera As the World Turns. Murkowski is compromised. Okay, so this is our Maggie right here, Maggie, and this is her mother. Now we have pictures of her mother, and you can actually see this in one of my videos, posing with her friend James Alefantis of Comet Ping Pong fame. And we've seen lots of pictures of her before. Now, we're not going to go into it big time today, but it's a big connection. And if you want to get more in this, you can see my video here from April 21st, 2018. And it's just entitled In Pursuit of Truth Presents New QAnon 4/21/18. And I will link it down below, but this will give you some insight as to what's going on. And there's our girl right there. She's posing with Obama. We've seen a couple pictures of her with Obama. And of course, Q has referenced As the World Turns many times. So there's a lot of connections here, and a lot of human trafficking connections, and we tied it directly to this girl. Now, I'm not exactly sure if that is her real name or not. There was a lot of terms. Q was using the term Wendy, the name Wendy, and that was almost like a kind of a pet name. And here you see it here, 12/25. April 21st, yesterday, Maggie showed with Hussein, points, outline, POTUS. Wendy, today, POTUS, Maggie, focus, confirmation, coincidence, learn, are calm. So a lot there. Please check out this video. It'll give you a lot of insight, and probably a lot more insight as to what DiFi may just have on Murkowski. Post 2900, 29 minutes after the hour of 3, we get this graphic right here. Exactly when did Spike Lee find out that Trump was a racist white supremacist? Same time as everybody else, when they realized that Hillary was going to lose. And there he is, all buddy with the POTUS. And there he is with POTUS and Melania. Look pretty chummy there. Q says truth versus lies. The propaganda war for your mind. And if you watched my video yesterday, Spike Lee, who just won an award for his movie The Black Klansman, came out talking about how we've got to band together, get rid of Trump. Doesn't sound like you're doing the right thing, Spike. Let's move on to 2901, 4 minutes after the hour of 4. Q says internal civil war, and that's in brackets. All-out assault against the duly elected president of the United States. We have never experienced anything like this in our history. Yeah, the wildest thing about this war, folks, is that a lot of people don't even know what's going on. Treason and sedition at the highest levels of office throughout many departments, that'd be foreign and domestic. Propaganda arm being the fake news media of the Democratic Party in full attack mode. No facts, only statements. Yeah, they don't even retract stories anymore. They just pump them out so fast that they just kind of hope you're going to forget. Propaganda arm, fake news media of the Democratic Party. Prevent, limit, sheep being us, from learning the truth. Propaganda arm, fake news media of the Democratic Party. Retain control of narrative, control over you. House Democrats in full attack mode. No facts, only statement. Senate Democrats in full attack mode. No facts, only statements. This is their last stand. Fear of prosecution? Yeah, indeed. And I would imagine just keep an eye on who's running. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that everybody who's running is guilty of something, but I would imagine many who are guilty will be running, if that makes any sense. Fear of the public learning the truth. Fear of losing power. Well, they are learning the truth. They're turning on to other channels, not just my own, but ones like it. And they're getting good information now. And it's becoming more and more apparent as you see our numbers growing and their numbers dwindling. And I don't really even think that we're the alternative media anymore. I honestly starting to think that we're the first option and they're the alternative. Fear of losing power. Well, that's all it's about, right? This isn't about any kind of morality. This isn't about any kind of policy. This is just simply power. And that's why they're so thin on policy, because they haven't really spent much time working on it. Bribes, blackmail, threats, etc., all being deployed. And that might be very likely what we're seeing with Murkowski. But the fact of the matter is, whether people know it or not, we are at war. Let's move on. Post 2902, 16 minutes after the hour 4. Looks like we're looking at one of Hillary Clinton's baseball cards here. Let's check out some of her career highlights. Number 1, the former head of Russia's uranium company made 4 hidden donations to the Clinton Foundation totaling $2.35 million. I don't know about you, but that sounds collusion-y. Number 2, Bill Clinton bagged a $500,000 speech in Moscow paid for by a Kremlin-backed bank. Wow, nice work if you can get it, right? Well, you know what would have happened had that been Trump? It would have been collusion. Number 3, the FBI has uncovered evidence that Russian nuclear industry officials engaged in bribery, kickbacks, extortion, and money laundering. Yeah, we tried to look into this. It was a little bit difficult because the DOJ was rather corrupt, right? And it ended up going nowhere. Number 4, the Clinton Foundation received $145 million from foreign investors involved in the uranium deal. Yeah, they made out really well. And remember, a lot of this stuff went right into that foundation. Foundation. FBI agents have an eyewitness and documents to support the most explosive parts of the Uranium One story. Yeah, if only we could get it opened up again. And hopefully we will with AG William Barr. Number 6, Clinton mega donor Frank Holmes lied about selling Uranium One before Clinton approved the Russian transfer. Okay, so a lot of this we know, but thanks to the Anon who made that to put it all together for us. Q says, when the real truth regarding Russian collusion is right in front of you, but the fake news media prevents public awareness, conformity, and behavior. Okay, well, we already kind of know all this. It remains to be seen whether or not we're going to be able to open this up again. It's starting to look good. And of course, we do know that we'll get Mueller's findings coming after the summit. Now, I imagine the deep state is very likely going to try and push that back again, too. We shall see. We also know that AG William Barr, regardless of whether you like him or not, he does want to look into this, and that's very, very encouraging. And, of course, we've got former AG now, Whitaker, on as an advisor. So it remains to be seen how this all plays out, but we do know that it will likely play out after the summit, which is probably going to be the safest thing for the POTUS to do, although it is a little frustrating. Let's move on to 2903. 49 minutes after the hour 6, responding to an Anon who says feeling like Anons in U.S. will be up late tonight following POTUS Q in Vietnam. And Q says it's going to be historic, planned long ago. And then we've got, is this T minus 21? We have a negative 21 or minus 21 in brackets. And I have a feeling that we could be on some sort of 21-day countdown. Q says within the next 21 days, big happenings are going to take place. Post 2904, 56 minutes after the hour of 6. We get this verse again from Ephesians 6, verses 11. I know. Finally. flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you have done everything to stand, stand firm then with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all of the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, and pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert and always keep on praying for all the Lord's people. Q. Well, we've seen these words before, and they're very, very important words, and this is a very, very important meeting, and there's a lot of people that would love to see this fail. I can't imagine why you would ever want peace to fail, but people hate Trump that much, and of course we know exactly what's at stake here. Let's move on to the next post. 29:05, 54 minutes after the hour 10. We get this picture right here. Looks to be a reception area, and then we've got this right here from what looks to be inside. Then we get another picture here, and another angle here. These are all entitled "Peace is the Prize." Q says we are at war. Tomorrow is about peace. The future is ours. And then we see test 5. Now, we had seen 1 through 4 yesterday. It looks like we are now testing number 5. Now, from what I can gather, we appear to be at the Sofitel Metropole Hotel on Nguyen Street in Hanoi, and this was the best picture that I could find as a comparison. It looks like it was taken from inside this courtyard, and it looks like there's some banquet rooms and stuff indoors, but these archways looked very, very similar. Now, I guess Kim Jong-un was staying at the nearby Malia Hotel, and so were some of the reporters, and so they had to be moved because I guess he didn't want to see them at the breakfast buffet. I can't say that I blame him, but it looks like our meeting may very well be here. Now, there's also been some reports from very good sources that we've got a lot of police in the area, so my guess is that we are here. This looks to be very, very close, but Q was testing comms, and we see more tests coming up in these next posts here. 29:06, 33 minutes after the hour of 11. Q is responding to an Anon on 8chan who was talking about Laura Ingraham. Did Anons catch this at the end of Laura Ingraham? Ed Henry, reporting from Hanoi, told Laura, "Look at the picture on the right. I got this exclusively from a source inside the hotel," and that's likely the hotel we were just talking about. "Pic related is from my TV. I had to rewind to listen carefully. Sorry for poor quality." And Q says, "Anons have the originals. How is that possible?" Test 6. So we got another test 6 here, and Q is telling us that these pictures are indeed originals, which suggests that they are likely very close to the POTUS, right? And this is all going on right now. Just so you know, I've actually got it going on. It looks like I've been cut out here, but I've been watching this live feed sort of as we go. And as we go, we get more tests. Now, these are weird. I don't seem to get all the different ones here, but I've got 29:07, 58 minutes after the hour 11, we have test 7. 59 minutes after the hour of 11, we get test 8. And then we get test 12 at 12:03. Again, test 11, 12:03, and test 10 at 12:03. I didn't see test 9. So very strange, but those are tests. So I'm assuming that the Q team is testing different devices or whatnot. You can let me know what you think there, but it looks like all hands are on deck for this meeting in Hanoi, which is taking place right now. I am going to go continue to cover it. Those are your Q posts. As always, if you like this video, please click like, share, and subscribe. Thanks to all of you who do that already. I appreciate you guys so much. And if you are new to my channel, welcome to you. Please keep in mind that from time to time you will get unclicked and unsubscribed and unnotified. That's just the way it happens with social media these days. All my alternate links are down below to my Gab, my BitChute, my Brighteon.com. Of course, I'm over here on Twitter at IPOT1776. That's at IPOT1776. And as you can see, I have posted a live link, the same one that I am trying to follow right now. Now, I'm not sure about this news cycle. My post for the next day, a couple days, may come out at different times, just depending on what happens in the news cycle in Asia. But we'll see how it goes. Just stay posted. And of course, I always try and keep on top of Q, but I will be following this very, very closely for you all. All right, kids, that's all I got for you. My email is also down below. My P.O. box is down below. And if you'd like to support the channel, my Patreon link is down below too. All those links are down below. And until next time, this is Sir Patrick Mac. Stay free.